What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the This Day podcast. This is Megan, and today on the podcast, I am so excited for this episode. We are bringing back our friend Josh Singletary to the pod to talk about all the latest and greatest happening in the music world. And we may or may not have just a fun little bit in this podcast for y'all to check out. So, join Josh and myself now on the podcast. Josh Singletary.
Hey,
We back. We back. We
we're
back. We back.
back. We're
How's
back,
life?
and
Catch
go ahead.
how's life? Catch everybody up on life.
Oh, heavens, life has been insane. Um, since November. My father-in-law passed in November, and then of course the holidays happen. You wrapping all that up with tribute. We're wrapping the year up with that, and then Christmas, and then Callie's birthday is the beginning of January, and so then um, all of that. So and then we had in January we were home a total. Now people they don't process a lot of this because they don't. Why would they? But we were home a total of 6 days in the month of January. We had a trip out to the West Coast, and then we had which was like a week and a half. Then we had the Singing at Sea cruise. Actually, I flew home, and Callie and I flew to Florida for a little bit of a getaway. But that was only like a 2 day thing for me because then I met the bus in Waimama, and then we went on the Singing at Sea cruise, and then we finally came back. And then February's been a little more lenient, but we've had all kinds bus trouble. We've had all kinds of things. So things have been great. Praise the Lord. The Lord have mercy. That's the way I put it. Praise the Lord, but Lord have mercy.
I
We've been
love it.
very busy. We've been very uh, um, blessed. Um, but it's just been nonstop. Callie and I decided over the holidays we were going to start purging the house. We were going to start purging all the things we don't feel like we need anymore. And we're trying to move her office downstairs and what's downstairs up to what her office is now to make it a bedroom. So we started that whole process during the holidays.
Ooh,
That was fun. And then we got back to life, so we've kind of been on a pause for a little while. And then the dog got sick, so that made things fun. And then he's better now. He's better now. He got he he got into okay, a dog is gonna dog, right? You can't
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
stop a dog from dogging,
yeah.
right?
No.
Right. So we mistakenly left a bag of trash on the floor because we were purging things. We were just, and we went away from it for a second. Then we heard some rustling, and we came downstairs, and we noticed we had a little square pan. It was half full of fudge, and all the chocolate fudge was gone. Gone. Completely gone.
Wow.
So, while I was in California, my poor Callie, she was left to have to deal with that because, see, they got to get that out of their system. And
Oh,
so that took about a week. That took about a week to have to deal with. And so, to answer your question, the last 4 months have been an adventure. Quite the adventure.
wow.
So,
Oh my lands.
oh
Well,
yeah. Oh, it's listen. It's funny. I jokingly say that that's you want to sing travel the world and sing for Jesus, and that's great and that's fantastic, and it is a calling and it's something that is needed. It's a ministry. It's a real ministry. But how's your temperament? How, how's your back? How's your temperament? How are you with being gone a lot? How are you with buses being broke down and all those things, you know? So it's just part of it. And so you don't think about it much anymore. Um, but it is what it is. I always hated that statement too. It is what it is. But it is what it is.
Josh, I mean, but here you are. You made
Here
it
we are.
to this
Here we are.
moment in
Good.
time.
I
You're
got my office cleaned up. Well,
Look at that.
let me rephrase that. You can only see you can only see this much of my
Yeah,
office, right? That
yeah.
means over here and over here, things can be hiding that. Um, the screen of my office is clean.
Oh my goodness.
This window is clean. I have stuff hiding everywhere. So, anywho.
Wow.
All right,
But
so what's new with
listen,
you? What's going on?
so
How have you been?
I've
I know
been
you were sick.
I was sick. Listen,
Yep.
it was rough. We had the devil, I call it the devil's virus because I'm pretty sure, it was just like your dog, just everything just came through.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but not as intense as the dog. We're just gonna leave that there. Um, so
Nothing has been as intense as that.
but here we are. The first couple months of the year have been crazy. I have been going, going, going. I was at a little convention called NRB in Dallas, Texas, just a couple weeks ago with
That the wait a minute. What is that?
it's the National Religious Broadcasters Convention. So they have like
Cool.
film, Christian music, radio, everything that's in
Nice.
the Christian bubble just drops there to like
And where was it?
Dallas,
Oh, it was
Texas.
Dallas. You went all the way to Dallas.
Well, so here's the thing. I thought I was going all the way to Dallas. My flight was supposed to go direct from Nashville to Dallas. Simple. 1 hours and 26 minutes. Mm-mm.
What
We went
happened?
Nashville, circled Dallas twice. Then the plane shot straight up in the air. And the pilot comes on and
Oh.
he's like, "This is your captain speaking." And I'm like, "Oh my word, this is a Tom Hanks movie. I'm going down." And he's like, we can't land in Dallas. And I look out the window and I'm like, the sun's rising. It looks fine. And he said, "We're going to Tulsa." And I'm sitting there and I'm like,
I can't.
why? So
Mm.
then we land in Tulsa and they're like, we had low visibility. We couldn't land the plane, all this stuff. And so we landed in Tulsa and sat on the runway for 25 minutes. They're like, the last three planes got in. So we're headed back to Dallas. 40-minute flight from Dallas to Tulsa.
Oh,
After
of
about
course. Yeah.
a 4 hour total round trip, we got back over to Dallas.
So it was a weather thing? Like was it winter weather?
It was, no, it was, they said they had low visibility. So I guess that's fog?
Yeah, cloudy. Yeah. Well, our trip to the West Coast, our first day was so we were supposed to be at Mesa, Arizona for the IMC thing on a Sunday, and then we had the threat of this winter storm that we had at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah,
And so they were talking about how probably there were going to be canceled flights and all that stuff. Well, our flight was set for Saturday, so we could be there for Sunday. And we said, we can't miss that trip because we went from Arizona to California
yeah.
and had, a whole week of California dates. And so we had to make our flight earlier. So we decided to fly on Thursday instead of Saturday. Oh, listen. And and of course we do Southwest, and they've decided to go Disney on us and jack their prices through the roof on everything. So that was
Mm-hmm.
fun. That
Yeah.
was fun. But anyways, we made it. Yeah. Well, so then you made it to Dallas.
I made it to Dallas and we were good. We were good once we landed. Quite turbulent, both coming and going, but we were
So
good.
it was weather. It had to be a storm or something.
It had to be something.
Yeah, it had something.
But we made it. Saw a
Yeah.
little bit of Tulsa, made it into Dallas.
Well, I
It
saw you put a video of yourself at the airport, and I wasn't quite sure what had happened. So that's what had happened.
That's what happened. The poor girl beside me, she looked at me. So our flight out of Nashville to Dallas was at 5:50 in the morning.
Ooh.
So this was like early. And the poor girl beside me, she was like, I'm getting kind of sick. And I'm like, oh Lord, don't vomit, don't vomit,
Oh,
don't vomit. I was like, oh,
here's a bag.
out of everything.
Another
Not
bag. Here's another bag.
vomit, don't
Give
vomit.
me your bags. Yeah.
Um, but then we landed and I was like, do you want to go ahead of me? Like I know, typically the person on the aisle goes first, but I want to bless you today.
Yeah.
Um,
You get on out. Go
I
ahead.
was like, if you're sick,
You go. I
you
want to
can
bless
vomit on
you today.
bed.
I want to bless you today. I need you to go on. Bless you.
I
Yes.
need you to
Yeah.
go.
You did
I
get.
need you to go. But I saw on your Instagram, it's been over a year since Grand released.
It's been right. Matter of fact, last month, February. So it's March now. For those who are watching, it's March,
Yeah.
um, 2025. So February last year, February was of this year was the year anniversary of the Billboard listing, which that still blows my mind. So I was curious. I asked the record company because I'm always thinking also for tribute, and I'm thinking things, and I'm thinking so. So I asked him, I said, how did it get on a Billboard chart?
Yeah.
Like it was number 8 on the classical crossover Billboard chart.
Yeah.
And so I said, how did it happen? They said, well, we don't know. And I went, oh, good. So the connection that they have over there, they kind of talked to them about it, and they said, from what we can tell, it's a consumer thing. Now, I sold them okay. They sold, the CDs have sold fine. It's streamed fine. It's not been, just, you know, it's not gone viral. It's not gone, millions of listens and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm like, well, I'm like, how is that? Apparently they take into account every medium of streaming. So not only Apple, or not just sales, but in Apple and Spotify and Pandora and all that stuff, Amazon Prime. Um, but they also take into account, uh, uh, say, s- uh, like Facebook. So
Oh,
I
okay.
posted, I made a music video, The Prayer. That's what I released first,
Yeah.
December of 23. And so, well, because it's in the, the ISRC, which is
Hmm.
basically the thumbprint of every recording that you make. It's the digital thumbprint. So whenever you upload a song, that's why it can recognize it, because the ISRC is recorded in a database, and all of the social media platforms, for those who don't know, all the social media platforms have access to that database.
Yeah.
That way, no one's using a song illegally. So it recognizes. So it recognized that. Well, the prayer, when I released the music video, it made its little gospel music circles. You know how it does. It lasts about a week,
Yeah.
and it peters out and it's done. Uh, so it did that, and then a week later, I started noticing all these foreign reactions on it and engagements, and it blew up. It blew up in like in Russia and Brazil and Portugal and
Wow.
France and uh, all over the place, everywhere, everywhere. The video blew up. So apparently, because that is also recorded uh, by SoundScan and Billboard, I believe. Um, I think that's what attributed to it,
Yeah.
which goes to show you when you support your favorite artist, things happen.
Exactly.
But it was such a mind-boggling thing, and that whole deal is still it's still a surreal thing. Um,
I love it.
yeah, it was very it's been a year. It's been out a year, and many people have been blessed by it, and I'm so very thankful. You
I'm
know.
proud of you, Josh.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was more or less kind of a thing that was kind of laid in my lap. I think
Yeah.
we've talked about this before. It wasn't supposed to be
Yeah.
my project. It was started for somebody else who wasn't able to see it through to fruition, and so um, yeah. So the fact that it's done so well has really been amazing. Been amazing.
Well, I'm proud of you. And we did talk about
Okay.
that before. But so we're back on this episode because we had people request us back, which has
Really?
never happened before. The
Oh,
DMs were blowing and popping and exploding because they were like, man,
oh
that
no.
Josh Singletary guy, he's pretty cool. Like, we want to hear more of his laughter. So,
Listen, my 13-year-old self would have gone. That's very kind. That's very neat.
but I was like, how funny would it be if we brought one of these people on and was like,
Ooh.
let's talk to them
Do you
and
have people
see.
just sitting by?
Well,
Oh.
quite possibly.
Oh.
So, what if I'm gonna pop on out the little DM, see if we can get a little,
See if we can get a reaction.
see if we can
No.
get a reaction.
Daniel, you're late.
No, no, no. I'm not. I was told by my cousin to wait until she texted me. I've been sitting here since 11 o'clock. So,
Bless you, brother. Bless you. Hey, I'd shake your hand, but it's kind of difficult at the moment.
hmm
yeah. So I know where Megan is right now. Where are you at?
Well, Lebanon. I'm in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Okay.
Which is a
I'm
suburb
slightly,
of
Where are you?
Nashville.
I'm in Forest Hill, Maryland.
Oh, you're in Maryland.
Yeah, don't hold that against me. I don't
Um,
do that.
I love, I
He
like
loves
Maryland.
Maryland.
Oh, we have
He loves
friends in
Maryland.
Maryland.
I no, no. I'll take some. I want to move down to Nashville at some point, but
Yeah.
wife and five kids and one income kind of makes that difficult.
Oh, you
So
have 5 kids?
yes, all under the age of 11.
Oh, here, here, sir. Here, here.
Yeah,
There, there.
this is why I do not mind being in a tractor trailer for
Hey,
long
listen,
periods of
listen.
time.
Callie and I have a dog. That's as far as we're going.
You can look, we got 10, 8, 5, 4, and 4 months. You can pick any one you want, and I'll even give you a free box of Cheez-Its.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Hey, hey,
Okay.
Go ahead, Megan.
No, go ahead, Josh. You
No, no,
you
you go
go.
ahead. I've been interrupting you because every time you go to say something, I go to say something. So you go.
No, I was just gonna say. So, Dan, why don't you say what you do?
Oh yeah, what do you do?
I drive a tractor trailer for Frito-Lay.
Not nice. That can be a very lonely job, and it can be a very tiring job. Frustrating.
Right, the right music and the right amount of Folgers solves everything.
Everything, everything. Not just Folgers, but like Pilot Folgers or Love's Folgers
Oh
or
yeah, and yeah,
oh,
anything. I will never. You will never see me buy Starbucks, but um, cheap truck
that's because
stop
they
coffee.
don't have the yeah.
No, let's okay. So let's get that. Let's get that out in the open real quick. Coffee is black. If you add anything to hot coffee, it's hot chocolate. If you want an iced coffee, that's a milkshake. Anything, no. If it's not, it's coffee. Um,
Listen.
and all coffee is acceptable except Maxwell House. When they say good to the last drop, that is the biggest lie in marketing I've ever heard.
Hey, if whoever's watching this right now, go ahead and in the comments let us know what your favorite brand of coffee is. Let us know what it is, because if Maxwell House gets the biggest amount of votes, that's going to be the greatest
It's
thing
going to
I've
be
ever
so funny.
seen.
Or if
No,
Starbucks gets the biggest
Well, I
amount
think
of
on our
votes.
bus, I think Black Rifle is the one on our bus.
Ooh, that's good. That hits
Yeah,
different.
Black Rifle and uh something death something or
Oh,
seen Death Coffee. I haven't had it yet. I
oh,
want to
Death
try
yeah.
that.
Wish.
I've
Yeah,
seen
they
Death
it.
love
Wish.
that too, man. It's strong. See, the philosophy on our bus is if it doesn't have the consistency of tar or oil, then they're not drinking it. It's got to be strong. Yeah,
Yeah.
black,
Get along.
strong.
We'll get along just fine.
We had to take a break, and we're back.
We're back. Um, so what are you excited for when it comes to touring, live events, all of the things happening in 2025?
Well, I think we are in an interesting time in history, number one,
Mhm.
which makes what we do all the more intriguing. Um, same word, same meaning. But what I'm anxious to see is what the Lord actually has in store. I mean, I know people say, "Oh, he's going to start being super religious," but it's true.
Yeah.
There's something going on in the world right now, and I believe that we as the church, we as ministers of the gospel, I believe we have an opportunity right now to to help people get their focus and the perspective back where it needs to be. Um, I've been watching the political situation and all the other junk, just like everybody else has. But the obsessing over it and allowing it to affect our relationships and our walk with the Lord, and the standards that we initially hold.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think that's a good thing, and I think we have an opportunity right now. So my whole excitement and what I feel is important with what we do is helping them in however we can to get
Yeah.
them back centered, the church especially, because we need to be the church. We need to be the people that there's always going to be people who don't want anything to do with the church and nothing to do with what we do, and that's I can't do anything. You can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Um, but and I still will try anything to try what I can to get them to come to the Lord. But once people have made up their mind, they've made up their mind. If their conscience has been seared, their conscience has been seared, and so you can't, you know. cry over spilt milk. You have to move forward, and you have to do what you feel like the Lord has called you to do. So this year we have a few exciting things going on. We have, of course, our fifth. This is our fifth year of our Living the Stories retreat.com, which I feel like is one of those tools that we're able to use. Whenever the guys talk about it from the platform, we whenever we do a concert, we show up at, do an appearance somewhere. We're there for a little bit. We get to meet people and shake hands, and we say hello, we say goodbye, and then we're gone, and
Yeah.
that's it. And we may not see people again for the next year or two or three or four or five or six, seven, however long. And so this retreat, this retreat, Living the Stories retreat, is an opportunity for us to um, to connect with uh, with people. We spend what 3 days, 4 days, 3 days, something like that, 4 days, um, together at the Ridgecrest Conference Center up in Black Mountain, North Carolina, and it's just us. It's just the people. It's yeah, we sing. That's what we do. But there's like we do. We'll do each of us speak every day. We have different events. There's different sessions throughout the day, different chapters in the story because we're living the
Yeah.
story. Different chapters, and this isn't the kind of retreat that's we got breakout sessions and we've got this that, and it's not that kind of retreat.
Yeah.
It's just literally a getaway for you all to hang out with us, for people to hang out with us, and it's really fun. It's really interesting. It's unlike any other event that I've ever had a part of. We don't have other groups there. We don't have other speakers there. It's just us. One of the days we do like um, Family Feud. We have a big Family Feud rig and get there, and for you know an hour or so, we play Family Feud, and it's fun, and it's a lot of fun. And then one night we do, if the weather's right, permitting, we do s'mores around a campfire and sing songs and all that stuff. Um, but we have that coming up, and then we have um, a tour later on this year that we're initiating called the Quartet Tribute Tour. We do these, so we have 3 albums out right now. Well, we have a series of albums. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. Tribute Quartets, Quartet Tribute. It's a tribute to quartets from days gone by. So it's old quartet
Wow.
songs. Just piano, bass, guitar, drums, that's it. None of this other stuff. And so anyways, it's going to be a concert of just that music. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Celebrating the heritage of what this music is, and the pioneers that have gone before us. So we're excited about that. We're currently working on a new album for Tribute Quartet, a new mainline record. So we're excited about that. I will be starting very soon um, the the piano arranging process of my new um, I have a Christmas project that we'll be releasing maybe next year. Um, but anyway, I went back with David T. Clydesdale, who produced Grand and orchestrator extraordinaire, and we went to Prague with the City of Prague Philharmonic Orchestra and recorded 10, Chris. I told him, I said, look, I said, I want this the puke of Christmas. I said, I want this to be Christmas all over the place. And as a matter of fact, after the Callie and I went over there, and both of us kind of did the because we needed footage, so we did, you know, we went out on the floor where the orchestra was, and we recorded everything. And after the first song, it's big and Christmas and everything. He's up there
Yeah.
directing. I'm at way back at the back of the room. Dun, cuts it. And he looks over at me and goes, "Is that Christmas enough?" And I go, "Uh-huh,
Yes.
yes, yes." So, so it's going to be called a grand
Ooh,
Christmas,
a great Christmas.
as it should. Grand and a
A
grand Christmas.
great Christmas.
So I told him, I said, look, I said, as much as I want to do Santa Claus, candy canes, and all that stuff, as fun as that is, Nutcracker, I said, let's just stick with Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know anybody who doesn't love Christmas
Hmm.
carols. Um, and so he arranged 10. I gave him a list of Christmas carols, and I said, um, let's kind of do, you know, medley some of them. Let's use this list of songs, and so he came up with, actually they're 10. They're not 10 songs. They're 10 medleys, more or less, of songs. Which I thought, to begin with, I thought, I don't know how I feel about 10 medleys. But after listening and analyzing the the orchestration, listening to and analyzing the orchestration, um, I thought, you know what? There's something on here for everybody.
Yeah.
This is good. This is a good background to your Christmas, uh, type of album, because it's 10 medleys. We even got the Philadelphia Boys Choir to make
Oh,
an appearance. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. So we did, a couple years ago, Gerald Wolf's hymn sing did the Christmas
yeah,
hymn
yeah.
sing.
I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And so one of the songs that Gerald put on there was "Tell Me the Story of Jesus," which is essentially a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Tell me the story of Jesus, right on my heart, every word. Um, tell me the story of Jesus, right on my heart, every word. Tell me the story of most precious, sweetest that ever was heard. Tell how the angels in chorus sang as they welcomed his birth. Glory to God in the highest, peace and good tidings to earth. So I told David, I said, I want to do that. I said,
I love that.
somehow if we can fit that in there, that'd be great. So he made beautiful arrangement of that, and the Philadelphia Boys Choir make an appearance on there, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm really excited about that. I haven't started. People say, well, do you play the piano with the orchestra? No, I don't. We record the orchestra first because I don't know how they went. We record the orchestra first, then I take that recording into a studio here in Nashville, and then I play the piano on it after that, because I got to work on the piano. You got to make sure it's done well. So I haven't started digging into it yet. I'm really excited to. Just time has not been very kind here lately, but I'm really excited about it. So there's a lot of neat things happening this year. That was like a 30-minute answer to a
I
10-second
was
question.
very excited though. Like that was just such a great wow.
Rundown.
And that was a great rundown. I'm honestly, you don't get a good response out of people these days. So that
It
was,
was like, well, we got a lot of exciting things happening. We're
and then you're
going
like,
to different
cool.
places and different here and different there. And,
So does the
the
mailman, you
quartet
know?
tribute tour thing, is really, what's interesting about that is as simple as it's going to be, it's going to take a whole lot of work, because we're not doing our normal
Yeah.
concert thing. We're presenting a presentation, um, of those songs only from those three albums. We won't be doing songs, people can't walk up and go, "Can you sing Good News from Jerusalem? Can you sing The Healer Hasn't Lost His Touch?" No, we're not going to be doing those songs. This is simply a presentation of all those old quartet songs, and we're going to have footage of old quartets singing. We're going to have a bunch of different stuff. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be neat. After the retreat, we're going to be hard, hard focus on
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 the
on the
tour.
on the tour. Yeah,
We
because
love it.
there's a lot of work to do. A lot of work.
Well, so let's see. Okay, something that you can share. What has
Yeah.
been the most um we talk about because fans and friends are like the biggest part of, what we do, right? So like on my end, planning the event, working with the artist without people showing up, that's not very helpful, right? And you
Right.
guys singing to no one, that's also not very helpful. It's kind of boring, kind of sad.
Right.
Um, makes you want to cry.
Yeah.
Um, but what is the most interesting fan interaction you've had that you can share,
The most
essentially,
interesting fan interaction that we can
that you think
share.
the people would want to hear?
Um, ooh, that's a tough one. Um, the most interesting.
Or entertaining. I mean, I don't know.
Entertaining, yeah. Well, I mean, entertaining. We can talk all day long because they come up and they say some of the craziest things. I remember I had a lady one time, at a National Quartet Convention. Um, we have a line of people,
I love how it always
Yeah.
goes back to the national court. Like
It does. It
everybody
does.
just goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lady one time. She said, uh, and these little ladies, I love on them. The little kiss on the cheek and whatever. And so, um, I said hello to somebody and gave me a little kiss on the cheek, and they walked on. There was a lady behind them, and she walked up and she said, and I had just gotten married, and she decided she was going to give her 10 cents worth,
Oh,
and she goes, and she was serious too. She goes, "You need to be careful kissing on all these women now that you're married." So I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I said, "Dear heart," I, I looked in her eyes and I said, "I have CDs to sell. My wife's gonna be fine." So, granted, it's a funny response. She laughed, I laughed. That's exactly what I wanted from that. And so you have stuff like that, or you have the lady. There was a lady in Central Florida that really. So people have a hard time. An hour and a half isn't long enough, apparently, for some people to grasp my personality. So some people have a hard time digesting my personality, right? They don't. What is his deal? I don't get it. What? So they have a hard time digesting my personality. So lots of times people will choose to get offended at stuff that isn't offensive. Uh, you know, uh,
yeah.
I make a joke um, about I'm from Florida,
Hmm.
and we I'm from North Florida. I'm not from where
Yeah.
everybody else is. People go. I always tell them I'm not from the part of Florida that you go to. I'm from the part of Florida that you pass to go to what they want you to think is Florida.
Yeah.
I'm from North Florida, right? What we call the redneck capital of the world, from the Panhandle to the Atlantic. It's the redneck capital of the world. And we call Southern Florida Northern Cuba because there's a lot of Cubans down there. So I said that, and I offended a lady. She got offended for the Cubans. She got she got offended for the Cubans, and so I joke, and that's a true story. She got offended for the Cubans. I just don't think that's. I don't think you should say that. Well, a lot of Cubans live down there. It's not
Yeah.
derogatory. there's just a lot of Cubans that live down there. So
Stating
it's
the
north of
facts.
Cuba.
Stating the
Yeah.
facts.
Right. So I asked her where she lived. She said, this was up in New York. I said, where do you live? She said, Chinatown. Anyway, so we have stories like that. So this lady in Central Florida, she just didn't grasp my sense of humor and didn't grasp my personality. And so she came out. She was miserable through the whole concert to begin with. And so I was the first person out to the table, and she was out there looking at some t-shirts that we had. And I said, how are you? And this was her words. I'm still up in the air about you.
She did not.
And I said, first thing that came to mind, which was, that's okay. Stay up there as long as you want to stay. And she said, that's what I'm talking about. I said, well, did you have a good time tonight? She said, just some of the things that you said. I said, well, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it now. It's over. You want that t-shirt? She, she said, yes. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye. And she walked off.
Well,
People say some of the craziest things to us. Um, but to say the most interesting, I don't know, man. We've had some really interesting. We've had people who are. We have a friend, a fan friend, who when we first met him, we found out that he's probably connected to some outfits. Let's just put it that way. To some organizations. But he grew up loving gospel music. And
good.
so he was a big fan and he became a good friend of ours and he finally got his life right and finally got saved. And
Good.
anyway, so there, you meet those kind of people. You meet people who were military people or government people who have really interesting um,
Yeah.
pasts and so it's really hard to narrow down one of the most interesting. Um, I don't know. I mean, there are so many people in the world that do so many interesting and neat things. And we meet a lot of them. We know a guy who used to work. Was a big wig over at IBM, the computer company back in the
Yeah.
day, and he loves gospel music and is a big fan. And we met. Oh, I'll tell you. Now this isn't a fan experience, but this is. I did a video on this. I did a short video, a reel. You may have seen it.
I might
Um,
have.
but I met. This is my most probably my most embarrassing or my most dumb uh celebrity encounter.
Oh no. What
So
did you do?
so when we were in Mesa, Arizona back in January, the hotel we were staying at is about a 10-minute walk to the theater. I mean, it's just right there next to it. And so the event was over on Sunday. Well, every artist that was out there flew out there.
Yeah.
Parking lot behind the hotel Sunday night, we noticed there was a Prevost bus. And for those who don't know how to pronounce it, it's Prevost, not Prevost, not Prevost, not Prevost, it's Prevost. If you go, if you go, if you go to Quebec, where the company is based out of, they will correct you so fast. It's a Prevost bus. Anyway, we saw a Prevost bus back there, and we said, "Oh, I wonder who that is." I
Yeah.
don't know. Well, it's not any of our people because they all flew. So I wonder who's going to be there. So I uh, the next morning we kind of forgot about it. The next morning I said I saw one of them come down and they had golf clubs and a nice golf outfit. And I said, where are you golfing? I had made a decision I wasn't going to go, so who are you? If I was going to ask anything, I was going to ask what genre and just kind of leave it at that, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of figure it out from that point on. So I started talking to them, asking where they're going to go golfing, and they, man, I don't know. They booked it, and they're going to go, hit the ball around. I don't know where we're going to go golf. And then another one came down, and another one came down, and another came down, and I'm just yucking it up with them, right? And so we're waiting on our vehicle before we leave to go to California, and they're getting in their vehicle, and so I ran up to them. I said, "By the way, what genre?" Now I'm gonna tell you the way I heard it, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. So I said, "What genre?" They said, "Temptation for Top." I said, "No, no, no, no. What genre?" He goes, "Music?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Motown." I went, "Man, I love Motown. I love Motown. Man, I wish I could be at your concert. I think that would be great. Golly, I love that kind of music." And they said, "Well, you should come." I said, "I've got to go to California. I'll go California." So they went on. So we're leaving Mesa, and I get on the phone. I'm like, "Who's going to be in Mesa, Arizona?" Well, I saw that the Temptations and the Four Tops are going to be in Mesa, Arizona, and I went, "Oh, oh, that's the Temptations and the Four Tops." I was just talking with the Temptations and the Four Tops. Then I began to analyze the conversation I had with them, which went as follows. What genre? He goes, The Temptations and the Four Tops. I said, no. What genre? To which he said, Motown. I know, no, he said, music? I said, yeah. He goes, Motown. I went, man, I love Motown. They got in that car and went, and that fool don't know Motown. He don't even know who the Temptations and the Four Tops are. I
Josh.
never heard that's what he said. Oh,
Oh my
that's
land.
my most embarrassing celebrity moment.
Um,
So
wow.
yeah, so I don't know if that answers your question, but
That
that's
does. Wow, congratulations.
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But I hung out with the Temptations and Four Tops for just a little bit. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Not a lot of people can say that. Honestly,
Hmm.
that's wow, that's great. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy for you too, Megan.
I hope that one day you can redeem that moment in a very
Well, I tagged them in the video, and I hope that one of them saw it, but I don't think they did.
no,
I don't
maybe
think they saw it. I
maybe
I want them to know I know who you are. I didn't hear properly.
Oh my goodness, Josh. This
Well,
has been
Megan, this has
fun.
been fun.
This has been exciting. I'm glad that we caught up.
And
I can't
I'm glad
wait.
to have met Daniel.
Yeah. And his drug driving stuff.
And a truck driver. Listen, I can talk about it all day, but that's a lot of things that people don't know about. They
They
don't
don't
realize
know.
you got
They
to
don't
go through
know.
all that rigmarole to
They
make
don't
it
know.
happen. Yeah.
So I'm excited for all that's going to happen this year for y'all. I think it's going to be
Thank you. Me
great.
too. Me too.
But
Oh, we
any,
also got an invite to the country of Chile.
oh,
Yeah, whether that happens or not, I don't know. But
but
we got
you got
invited.
invited.
They have a quartet convention down there. You know
That's
that?
I wouldn't have expected
Yeah.
that. That's a wild card for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of gospel groups down there. It's big in South America. Gospel music, our genre is huge in
Maybe we
South
should just
America.
move a lot of conventions down there, and then we could be like rock stars, roll out the red carpet in South America.
Sure. Let's do that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Josh, oh my word, it's been so much fun. I can't wait to see you very soon at an event coming, probably your retreat. That's
Yeah. Next week. Yep.
literally next week,
LivingTheStoriesRetreat.com. Living the
Sunday. It'll be so fun.
Woohoo!
Well, Josh, have a wonderful day, and I'll
You
catch
too,
you
Megan. Take care.
soon. Bye. Hey, friends, thanks so much for tuning into the podcast today. Be sure to check out everything that Tribute Quartet is doing via their website and keep up with our podcast via all the social medias we are on.